Hey guys, it's Bella and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title of today's video, I'm doing kind of a more personal video. This is all about my scoliosis kind of surgery and how I found out. The reason why I wanted to do this is because before I had my surgery at the start of the year, as soon as I found out that I had scoliosis, I spent hours on YouTube scrolling through every kind of video trying to find out if the surgery was painful, what my recovery would be like, how other people found out, if mine was really bad compared to other people's. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to kind of tell people how I went through everything and hopefully it helps someone out there. So I've got a list of everything that I want to talk about here, so hopefully I get through everything, but if I miss stuff, just ask questions down below and I'll reply to everything. Also, side note, I'm sorry if I squint quite a bit. I'm in front of two huge windows and it is like the hottest day it's been all year. Okay, so in case you don't know what scoliosis is or you're unsure, scoliosis is like a medical condition. I'm pretty sure it's genetics. That's what my doctor told me. It's where your spine curves or rotates. So everyone has a straight spine. Normally it kind of curves to a certain degree, and that is what they call scoliosis. It's actually more common than you would think. Quite a lot of people have it but don't need surgery or anything kind of done to it, so they just leave it. But mine was obviously a bit more serious, hence why I had to have surgery. So we found out I had scoliosis, I would like to say maybe 2012. I was at the beach with my family and I was wearing a wetsuit, and the wetsuit was really small on me. It was really tight, and my mum kind of went, you know, stand up straight. Why are you not standing up straight? And I was like, I am standing up straight. And then she came over and kind of put her hands on my hips and went, your right hip is higher than your left hip. And I was like, okay. And I didn't really think anything of it. We kind of left it for a year. And then I used to do dancing. I was in ballet class, and my teacher would always come up to me and kind of like twist me around and push one of my legs down and like say to me, you need to work on this and this. And I didn't understand why I was the only one in the class that my hips weren't rotating properly, or I was off balance, and I didn't get that. And then I'd say about 2015, we left it for ages, I started getting kind of back pain. It started at the top of my back and in my shoulders. I got really bad migraines and headaches, and my mom's like, okay, I'm going to take you to the doctors. Went to the doctors. The guy was like, can you bend over? That sounded really sexual. So the doctor's like, can you bend over? And he was like kind of pushing his fingers up my spine. He got me to like touch my knees, touch my toes, and he kind of went like this all the way down my back into my hips and said, okay, you've got scoliosis. And then my mom went, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I have scoliosis too. And I was like, oh, thanks for telling me. So she has it, but hers wasn't severe, so they didn't have to do anything to it. I was like, okay, great. So I went home and did the worst thing you can do, and I googled it, like on Google Images, and all of these awful, like horrific photos showed up of people. I saw people like in the surgery room, like cut open. I saw like all these spines just like this, and I pretty much scared myself and started bawling my eyes out, you know. It's not fair. The doctor said that I had a 25% rotation, which wasn't too bad, but he wanted me to go to Pilates to kind of get on top of it before it got any worse. So then the doctor recommended me to like a physio Pilates person that specialized in kind of medical conditions. So I went to see him, and he said, your dancing is making it worse. And I was like, how can dancing make it worse? And he said, do you do like the splits and everything? And I said yes, because I used to spend about 20 to 30 minutes every day trying to perfect my splits. And he said that is a big cause, and that is probably causing your spine to rotate more because your hips are out of line when you're doing it. So he's like, you should probably, you know, stop dancing. And I was like, okay. I was kind of over dancing by then, so I didn't really mind. So I've been at Pilates for like 3 months, and he decided to kind of check my curvature on my back, and he said, cool, you're at 30%. And I freaked out because I told him, I said I was at 25% like 6 months ago. So I kept doing Pilates. It relieved pain for about an hour, and then I went home and the pain would just come back after an hour. So I was really bummed because I was hoping that it would, you know, not cure me, but at least change something. So then he recommended going back to the doctor every 6 months to make sure that it didn't get any worse. We went back, and this is probably about halfway through 2016. So I was at Pilates for about 6 months. Wasn't making a difference. It was just relieving pain for an hour. So I was like, okay, Mum, I want to stop. It's already expensive and it's not helping. So we kind of left it for a while, and I did like at home exercises and stuff. Didn't really work. We went back to the doctor 6 months later, and the timeline is a bit blurry, but I think it was like 2017, early 2017 when we went back. And the doctor said, okay, since you're not doing Pilates, you're gonna have to look into either surgery or a back brace. And he said, surgery, you don't need surgery until you're at 40 to 45% rotation. And when he measured me, he said I was at 35. And he said that progression of my rotation was so quick that he was sure I was gonna need surgery or to wear a back brace. And he told me that the back brace, I would have to wear 23 hours out of a 24-hour day. And I just said no, I was not wearing it to school. I know that some people have back braces and they work for them, but I really didn't want to do it. I'm not an active person, but I do like going out. I like swimming, walk my dog, I do stuff at school, and I just said that it was not going to work. And he kind of just said, okay, come back in 6 months, we'll keep an eye on you for surgery. Went home, kept doing exercises, came back. He, measured me up. He said, okay, you're at 40% surgery. Because I'd never had any serious injuries, I'd never really been to a hospital for anything serious, never had surgery, never had anything like that. So I was terrified, and I started bawling my eyes out in front of this doctor, and my mum was like, it's okay, you're going to be alright, we'll get the surgery, it will be fine. So after that I had 2 x-rays, full spinal x-rays, an MRI which went for half an hour I think, and then we went home. 6 months later they were like, okay, you need to come back for more x-rays. And by the way, the place where we were getting our x-rays was an hour away, so every time I had an x-ray we had to drive an hour to get there. Then we went for a second round of x-rays, MRIs. He came back to us and said, okay, I'll recommend you to a specialist. We were like, okay, cool, hopefully everything's finally going. And at this point, I was home honestly every day, researching it, looking up videos on YouTube, watching my scoliosis surgery story I could find, how painful surgery is, how the recovery was, if they could do anything afterwards. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, is because I don't know, I hope I can answer someone's questions, I guess. So after that, he passed everything on, and then the specialist, who was 2 hours away, kind of called us and said, I need more x-rays and MRIs. So I had to get more done. So I've had about 3-4 MRIs in total, and I don't even know how many x-rays. So we got all of that done again. I was so nervous, and I knew that this MRI would confirm that I definitely needed surgery. So after that, went back to school, everything was fine. I also noticed one side of my back was like this, so one side was flat and one side came out like this. Also, when I laid down, it still kind of happens a bit, my left rib comes out more and my right kind of sits back, and my left, I think it was my left hip was higher, so I just looked all off balance. I hated swimming in public with people. When I wore a bikini, I kind of held my towel, chucked on the sand and jumped straight in the water because I hated people seeing my back. I didn't want to be judged. I grew my hair really long just so I could cover it up. I had my hair down to just below my hip line so people wouldn't see my back and all that kind of stuff. It was awful. It really upset me. It made me hate my body. I hated looking at myself in the mirror when I got out of the shower. I absolutely hated the way I looked. I couldn't wear tight clothes, I couldn't wear tight dresses. I was so insecure, and when people would point it out sometimes, I would just go home and cry. I was so upset about everything. I got a boyfriend as well kind of before my surgery, and I was just terrified. I didn't want him to see me in a bikini. I didn't want him to see me in a tight dress. When I went to the ball, I had a dress that was sort of tight but wasn't as tight as the year before, and I was like, shit, he's gonna think I'm gross. He's gonna see that I have a hip higher than the other, a rib that sticks out a bit more. And I was like, he's gonna think I'm disgusting. I think I'm gross. But he never saw me like that. He never thought it was disgusting. He was never grossed out. He was the most supportive person ever. If you're watching this, I love you. He is watching this, I know he'll watch this. So another thing that helps is that if you have a good support system, that's really important. So after I did all my research and confirming everything, I got excited because I was like, you know what? Yes, I'll be in pain for a couple of weeks, but then after that I don't have to look the way I look. I can look different, I can look normal. So then I got booked in for my surgery. They booked me right on an exam day, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that day. So it was in 2018 in November, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this day. They finally booked it and I couldn't do it. I was gutted because this whole process had just been so long. I'd been waiting, scans, appointments, just all of this crap, and I was over it. And then I get that and I can't make the actual appointment. So then they rebooked it for the 8th of February in 2019, so earlier this year. And when I got the call, I just bawled my eyes out again. I was so upset. I was really nervous. Everyone kind of assured me that it would be okay. I did more research, I did more YouTubing, I looked up everything I possibly could. I just wanted to know if it was going to hurt, what the pain would be like, the recovery, could I be able to dance, could I swim, all of that kind of stuff. So then it was like, it came up to like 2 weeks before. I didn't let on to how kind of scared I was. I tried not to. The only person who knew I was probably terrified was my parents and my boyfriend. So me and my mum travelled to where it was, which was 2 hours away. I was fine. I had no nerves. And then we arrived at the hospital at like 6:30 in the morning. I cried the whole time we waited. When I got put into my outfit, they had to tape up my ears and my belly button because you're not allowed to have piercings and stuff open. Yeah, and I kind of, after that I stopped crying, and then people would ask me, you know, how are you feeling, are you okay? And when someone asks you if you're okay, you're gonna cry. That's just how it works. So then I got put in the room, put on this bed, hair was all dressed. I had to get butt-ass naked. I had nothing on, so I knew that the surgeons were going to see my butt. That was really weird, but try not to think about that. After my surgeon came and saw me, I remember how nervous I was, and he said, do you have any questions for me? And I remember saying, you know, did you have a good sleep? Did you have breakfast? And he said yes, he had a really good sleep. It's all gonna be fine. Got wheeled into the surgery room. I was bawling my eyes out. They let me listen to music, which like really helped with everything. I had my pillow pet, my teddy. I was texting my boyfriend. He was texting me saying I love you. I got wheeled into the room. There was heaps of people around me. I was bawling my eyes out. It was the scariest thing of my life ever, and people may think that's dramatic, but when you're in that situation, it's terrifying. This lady came up, she asked if she could take my blood, and I said, I'm sorry, but I don't like needles. I asked if I could have my blood taken while I was out. And they were like, yep, that's fine. I met my anaesthetist, he was really nice. A lady said, you know what, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be absolutely fine, we're gonna take care of you. You know in the movies where they put a thing over your face and they go, okay, count down from 10. I think they put it over my mouth and I went 3, 2, and then I was just out. Woke up in this random room. I don't remember any of the first like 6 hours after I woke up. I must have been so drugged up. I don't remember anything. My mum said I got wheeled into a room and she was there. She asked if I was okay, and the first thing I said came out of like my sleep or whatever was, can I have McDonald's? That was the first thing that I asked. I don't remember asking that. I don't remember any of that. I just remember waking up in my own hospital room, and then the pain kicked in. Woke up, pain kicked in, hit the morphine button, everything kind of dozed down. I'm gonna go more into detail about like my recovery, pain and everything like that if people want to kind of hear about that in another video, because that's a whole thing that I want to go into detail about. I was in hospital for a week. I hated it. I wanted to leave. They woke me up every 2-3 hours asking my name, giving me pills and taking my blood pressure like every 2-3 hours, and I know it's their job, but I got no sleep. Later that day, a lady came in and was like, okay, you're gonna walk. And I was like, no, I'm not walking. I'm sorry, but I'm not walking today. I had surgery like 12 hours ago. I'm not walking. I couldn't even imagine moving at that stage. I had a catheter in so I could just pee peacefully and not have to get up. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not getting up today. The next day they came back and that's when I had to walk, and honestly the only way I can describe it is it feels like someone has like poured concrete down your back, so you are like this. You can't really like move, you're like a robot, and it's heavy. That's what it felt like. It was concrete, and then it was just this really heavy feeling, and it felt like it was kind of pulling you down. And I think it also felt heavy because I was so weak. I hadn't eaten in ages. Everything I ate I vomited out, but I was just so weak. Everything was just flimsy and I just felt disgusting. They came like every day, made me walk, and then they also made me get up and sit down in another seat and eat my food, and I was in so much pain. And every time I was just like, can you just let me lie down? I want to lie down. So I really didn't like my physios. I know it was their job, but you don't know how painful it is until you're in that situation, no matter how much like research you've done. I know people might think differently, but for me, when I said I was in pain and I wanted to lie down, they didn't let me, and since I couldn't get up out of the chair, I would just be stuck there. So my mum was really helpful through all of it. She was on those like lazy boy chairs that like push out, like the old people chairs, sleeping there, and then she left after 3 days, and my boyfriend drove up and took care of me, which was the sweetest thing, and he drove me home, and once I was home, it was just so much better. But I was still really weak. I vomited up pretty much everything. There was always one pill that we couldn't figure out. I think we figured out towards the end, but it made me vomit every time I took it. But yeah, I'm so glad it's over now, and I'm so thankful to my surgeon and to all the nurses and all the doctors who were there, because they did an amazing job. The surgery was 4 hours. Everything went really well. I still have some places in my legs and like kind of on the side of my hips, upper butt, where I can't feel anything. Some places on my back, like our doctor said it was like nerve damage and stuff, but it's nothing serious. But yeah, they did an amazing job, and I'm always super thankful about that. So if you guys want to see another video on the whole surgery process, the recovery, the pain, how I'm doing now, and everything like that, because it's been I think about 8 months since my surgery. So if you want to know everything about recovery, what you can do afterwards, good stretches to do and everything like that, just comment down below if you want that, and give the video a like. And thank you so much for watching. I hope I didn't talk too much, and I hope I didn't rattle on too much, because I tried to include all the details I can, so I will try and put like captions and stuff in to make it a lot more clearer. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.